Hi guys, Nadeja here. Welcome to my channel, Live and Align. Oh, it's such a beautiful day today. I want to first, before I forget, take a moment and thank you guys for returning. Those of you who are returning, thank you. Please like, comment, and subscribe, or if you probably already subscribed to my channel. But for those of you who are new, welcome, and thank you so much for taking your time out to watch my videos. I hope that you like my content. If you do, I hope that you subscribe and become a regular viewer. Live and Align, basically I talk about things that, all things life really, all things life, things pertaining to relationships, spirituality, health tips, beauty tips and tricks. My books that I published, I am an author of several books. 4 of them are on Amazon right now for purchase. And I'm working on illustrations, yay, for the children's books that are coming out. They've been written for years. I just didn't have anybody to illustrate them. So now I'm getting them illustrated. I am super excited. Cannot wait. A friend of mine, her daughter, who's a great artist, and my daughter's a good artist too. They both have very good artistic skills, but she's actually doing the illustrations for one book. And I'm going to see if I can petition my child to see if she wants to do it for the second book. But I'll see. All that is in the works. But Live and Align just talks about aligning with your purpose, finding your purpose, living in peace, calm, all things good. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about where did the concept of hell come from? Hell, not hell, excuse me, not hell. I already did a video on hell. Found out it wasn't real. It was made up by the church to scare people. Comes from a lot of different places. But I'm not going to, getting a phone call in the middle of a video. Ain't nobody called me all morning. Sorry guys. But where did the concept of Satan, the devil, come from? You know, the guy under the ground in hell with a pitchfork and a forked tail and horns. So where did he come from? All right. So we have the book of Job mentions that the enemy, there was like a meeting before Job was tempted. There was a meeting that took place with God and some other angels, and the devil asked, have you considered my servant Job? Now guys, I have to say that when I put the link of the video in the description, I want you guys to make sure that you take a look at it. Why? Because it talks directly about that and how they changed that. But let me go into some other things. So Satan means adversary. People have said that Lucifer, or Lightbringer, is not the same person as Satan. To me, it's all a bunch of stuff. They said in this video that adversary, whenever it was mentioned in the old Hebrew before it was translated, it was basically talking about a human, a person that was like an enemy or someone who was opposing you and what you were doing. What I am going to look into, though, is the scripture where it said that, I forgot who it was, that said that they prayed and they would have gotten their prayers answered sooner, except the demons or something had held up their prayer. So that's something I'm going to look into next. But they had 1 Samuel 29:4 references a human adversary. Then the book of Job, where it talks about how Satan's walking around the world like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. But those are things that I'm going to look into more later. But I'm going to link the video in the description. But guys, what really stood out to me, it said, I'm just going to read off a couple of points that I wrote down. It says that David was referred to as an adversary. The same word in Hebrew, same language. David was referred to that. So you guys know that the Bible was translated, and we actually have the English. They translated it from Greek and Latin, Hebrew to English. So it's a lot of translations in there. You know, we had the Latin Vulgate, we had the Septuagint, we had a lot of things that funneled the Bible through to change some of the words, a lot of them. And we know that things that are uttered in a different language don't have the same force in them. So whatever the Hebrew word was, it was changed. It's not the same force or the same exact word. They found something that was most similar. But in some cases, they actually changed the words. Like when I did the video on hell, they didn't get a word that was similar to what they were talking about. They completely changed it and made it hell. So that wasn't even in there before, but those videos are in, I already made those videos. So it also says that, it talked about, it said, the scripture was, how are you fallen from heaven, O day star, son of the dawn? It was translated into Lucifer, son of the morning in the Latin Vulgate. Let that marinate for a minute, guys. Totally changed it. It said, "O day star, son of the dawn." It was translated to Lucifer. How did you get Lucifer from day star? That person just made their own decision to change it. And now everyone's running around talking about Lucifer, Lucifer. Guys, I'm telling you, in the Latin Vulgate that happened. So they had a lot of different words for different demons. ACL, Belial, Mastama. That was in the New Translation version of Satan. There are certain things that I want you guys to know. Satan was made up. That's number one. Hell was made up. That's number two. And heaven was also invented to have you desirous and looking forward to something better after this life. And I guess there's really nothing wrong with that if you're okay with living in fairy tale land. But I want good stuff now. I have eyes to see, ears to hear, a mouth to talk and taste. We have these 6 senses, right? We can touch stuff, we can see things, we can feel things, we can smell things, we can take. We have these senses now to enjoy life now. Enjoy this world now. So guys, don't let somebody try to, and I really think that they pushed heaven big during slavery to make the slaves think that, they had something better to look forward to after this life, because they literally were catching hell. I just watched a video the other day where it talked about these, Dr. Joy DeGruy Leary. She was talking about how they had found that in Wall Street, there's a slave cemetery. And she said that they actually found bones of slaves, and most of them were children who had died from malnutrition. And they could tell that from their bones, how their bone matter had started to decay and was malnourished. They could tell that. And then they also said that they saw spots on the bones. And it was weird because I'm like, they still have places where you could see that. But they have all types of forensic stuff now. So she said they saw places on the bones where they had literally worked them to the point where their muscle detached from the bone. How do you work so hard that your muscle detaches from the bone? Your muscle says, "I'm tired. I'm not doing it no more. I quit." And I hate to make light of it because it's not a light situation at all. Can you imagine working so hard that the muscle detaches from your bone? Crazy. But that's it. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I'm going to put the link in the description. The concept of hell and the devil, Lucifer, this main arch. And let me tell you guys, in this video, the guy says in the original Hebrew text, there was never any reference to one main arch enemy of God. There was never a reference to it. Not in the whole Old or New Testament. There was never a reference to a one main arch enemy to God. And guys, I stopped and I thought about it. I was like, why would there be an angel of evil created to tempt people? Like, we read about the description of the God of the Bible, right? And why would you even make anything like that? It's just something to think about, guys. But thank you for your time. I appreciate you. This video is a little bit longer than what I actually wanted, but I'm going to put the link in the description for the devil, Satan. And I'm also going to put the actual, it's Job chapter 1. And then 1 Samuel 29:4 is where they actually referenced a human references to David. He was referred to as an adversary. The word was always really adversary, but they put Lucifer or Satan or the devil. But guys, I'm going to cut the video now, and I'm put the links in the description. If you have any other questions, let me know. I'll be happy to look into certain things for you or share any information that you have. I'm always open to learn. I want to make it a community where we're sharing information so that we can all learn from each other. All right. Thanks, guys.